Hello, my dear students. How are you? I hope that you are well by the grace of Almighty Creator. I am also well. I am Jaydev Kumar, Assistant Teacher, English, Morning Shift, Bhanga Govt Pilot High School, Bhanga, Phulpur. I would like to welcome all of you to Bhanga Virtual School, and I would like to give a special thanks to the authority of Bhanga Virtual School. They have created such a great opportunity for you to take part in virtual class, and I hope that you are following your class routine, you are attending your class regularly, you are doing your homework, and the classes of virtual school are very effective and very fruitful for you. Okay, students, we are going to discuss a very important topic for English language, especially in English second paper for the students of class 9 and 10. And I hope that you will be very attentive to class. This class will be very effective, very fruitful for you. Okay. So now let's start our class. I welcome all of you to Bhana Virtual School. You can see my identification, though I have already given my identification. I am Jaydev Kumar, Assistant Teacher English, Morning Shift, Bhanga Pilot High School, Bhanga, Phulpur. Dear students, at the very beginning of the class, we will just go through some sentences. Okay? I think that the screen is very clear to you. You can see the sentences written on the screen. We respect an honest man. First sentence. Second one is, we respect a man who is honest. And the third one, the man is honest and we respect him. We respect an honest man. We respect a man who is honest. The man is honest and we respect him. Okay? Dear students, just follow the sentences. If you consider the meaning and the structure, the meaning of the sentences is the same. Okay? No doubt about it. The meaning of these given sentences is same, but the structural pattern of these sentences are different. Okay, so the same meaning has been placed in three different sentences in three different structural patterns. Okay, so dear students, can you guess? Can anyone tell what types of item we are going to discuss today? I think you have already guessed it. Yes, you are right. We are going to discuss simple, complex and compound. Simple, complex and compound. Very important, very effective topic in English second paper. And this topic is very important to develop your skills in English language. So dear students, today we are going to discuss simple, complex and compound. The class will be for the students of class 9 and 10, subject English second paper, and time as usually only 30 minutes. So dear students, and the class is part 1. That's mean I will take more classes on this topic, simple, complex and compound, because it is a vast area in grammatical item and it will take 2 or 3 more classes to finish the topic simple, complex and compound. Okay dear students, now we can go through our class. Get ready with your copy and pen. So learning outcomes. After finishing the class, I hope that after finishing the class, our students will be able to tell the definition of clause and its classification. Will be able to tell the definition of simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence, and also you will be able to identify the simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence. So are you ready for the class? Yes, I hope that you are ready, and the class is going to be very interesting for you because we will discuss simple, complex, compound as easy as I can. And after doing the class, I think that you will be very interested in simple, complex and compound sentences. Okay dear students, these are the learning outcomes. I hope that you have already just. So introduction, dear students, follow the sentences. Okay. We eat to live. We eat so that we may live. We want to live, and so we eat. Okay. So these are the same sentence. We eat to live. We eat. Why? Why we eat? We eat to live. We eat so that we may live. So we eat. There is a purpose for us so that we may live. Okay. And the third one is we want to live, and so we eat. We want to live, and so we eat. Okay. So if you just give attention, pay your attention, you will see the meaning of the sentences is the same, but the structural pattern of the sentences are different. The meaning of the sentences is the same, but the structural pattern of the sentences are different. So in transformation of sentence, you know, when you go through transformation of sentence or changing sentence, you have to just keep the meaning same, but you have to change the structural pattern of the sentences. Okay. So in the sentences, we see the meaning is the same, but the structural pattern of the sentences are different. Okay. Now we will learn how you can change simple sentence into complex, complex to compound, complex to simple, compound to simple. Okay, all these things just without changing the meaning. Okay, so remember it that you have to only change the structural pattern, not the meaning of the sentences. Okay, the sentence will be the same, but you have to change the structural pattern of the sentences. Now, what we say, hey students, all of you know on the basis of the structure of the sentences are of three types. On the basis of the structure, there are three types of sentences. Okay, what are these? These are simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. These are simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. You can see in the diagram, sentence are three types on the basis of the structure, that is simple, complex, and compound. Okay, so what is this? On the basis of the structure, the sentences are of three types: simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. Okay, so is it clear to you? Yes, I think it is clear. Now follow the structure of the sentences. Okay, students, follow the structure of the sentences. Okay, we respect an honest man. If the man is honest, comma, we will respect him. Next one, the man is honest and we respect him. Hey students, I have said you just follow the structure of the sentence. In the first sentence, there is only a single subject we, and there is only a single finite verb respect. Okay, so there is only a single subject we, and there is a finite verb respect. We respect an honest man. Okay, is it clear? Yes, I think it is clear. And the second sentence is, there are two parts. There are two parts of the sentence. The first part is, if the man is honest. This is the first part of the sentence, and we will respect him. This is the last part or second part of the sentence. So in a sentence there are two parts. Okay, now just pay attention. In the first part, we find there is a subject and a finite verb is, and in the second part there is also a subject we, and there is also a finite verb we will respect him. Okay, so in a sentence there are two parts, and in every part there is a subject and a finite verb. There is a subject and a finite verb. Okay, is it clear to you? Yes, I think it is clear. And the last one, the man is honest and we respect him. Here we also find two parts of a sentence, and these two parts have been combined or added with the help of and. Okay, with the help of and. We know and is a conjunction, especially called coordinate conjunction, and this conjunction has added two parts of the sentences. The man is honest and we respect him. Okay, so in the two part, in the first part there is also a subject and a finite verb, and the last part there is also a subject and a finite verb. Okay, dear students. So I hope that you have understood what I want to say. I want to say that in first sentence only there is a subject and a finite verb. In the second sentence there are two parts of a sentence, and in each part there is a subject and a finite verb. There is a subject and a finite verb. And the last sentence there are two parts, and these two parts have been added or combined with the help of and there is also each part there is also a subject and a finite verb, a subject and a finite verb. Okay, these are the structure of these sentences. Now we can go on next step. So, what we see? Yes. So what is, now we are going to discuss the definition of simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence. Simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence. So pay attention, and if you want you can write the definition of it in your copy. So simple sentence. What is simple sentence? In a simple sentence there is only a main clause. Okay, it is a new item for you, new word for you, clause. Okay, so in a simple sentence there is only a main clause. That's mean there will be a only part of a simple sentence. For example, you can see there are three examples here. We respect an honest man. We respect an honest man. An honest man leads a peaceful life. We could not come to school because of his illness. Sorry, there will be he. There will be he. He could not come to school because of his illness. So, dear students, these are the examples of simple sentence. First one is, we respect an honest man. An honest man leads, there will be S. An honest man leads, there will be S. There is a mistake here. Leads a peaceful life. Okay. We could not come to, he could not come to school because of his illness. So these are the example of simple sentences. Okay. So what is simple sentence? Simple sentence is a sentence there is only, where there is only a main clause. There is no other, any other clause here. Okay. Is it clear to you? Yes, I think it is clear. Next, complex sentence. What is complex sentence? Complex sentence is a sentence where there is a main clause and there is at least a subordinate clause, or there will be more than a subordinate clause. Okay. So complex sentence, in a complex sentence, in a complex sentence there is a main clause and at least a subordinate clause. Okay. So in a complex sentence there will be, or there is a main clause and there is at least a subordinate clause. So dear students, pay attention. We find a new word, clause. Okay, there is a main clause, subordinate clause. So we will discuss the clause later. So this is a new term for you, clause, main clause and subordinate clause. So in the definition of complex sentence we have just found the two clauses. One is a main clause and another one is the subordinate clause. Okay. So examples. These are the examples of complex sentence. We respect a man who is honest. There is a two part in a complex sentence. We respect a man, it is a part, and who is honest, this is also a part. So there is a two part of it in a complex sentence. If you worked hard, you would shine in life. If you worked hard, you would shine in life. In the sentence, we also find two parts of the sentence. If you worked hard, this is a part, and you would shine in life. This is another part of the sentence. Okay. So in complex sentence, we find two parts of the sentences. As he was ill, he could not come to school. As he was ill, he could not come to school. So dear students, pay attention. In the examples of these are the examples of complex sentences, and in complex sentences we find two parts in a sentence. Okay, we will discuss the pattern of the complex sentence in a later discussion. So can we go to our next step? Yes, there we will find the definition of compound sentence. So compound sentence. What is compound sentence? What is compound sentence? The students follow. Compound, in a compound sentence, there is at least two main clauses added by coordinate conjunction and or but, there is another etc. And then the main clauses are called coordinate clause. Okay, the students. So in a compound sentence, we will find at least two main clauses, and these two main clauses will be added by coordinate conjunction. Okay, please pay attention. Coordinate conjunction. What are the coordinate conjunctions? You know, and or but and so and thus. Okay, these are the coordinate conjunctions. Okay, so in a compound sentence there are two main clauses, and these two main clauses are added with the help of coordinate conjunction and or but, and then these two main clauses are called coordinate clause. Okay, these two clauses are called coordinate clause. So this main clause does not remain the main clause in a compound sentence. For example, we will see the example here. The man is honest and he leads a peaceful life. So you can see the man is honest, there is a part, he leads a peaceful life, there is a part. So the man is honest, it is a main clause. He leads a peaceful life, it is also a main clause. But these two main clauses have been added with the help of and. Okay, with the help of and. The next one, he studies a lot, and cuts a good figure in the examination. You can also write he here. He studies a lot and so, or and he cuts a good figure in the examination. So here in the examples, here you also find two main clauses. He studies a lot and cuts a good figure in the examination. These two clauses have been added with the help of coordinate conjunction and. Okay. Is it clear to you? Yes, I hope that it is clear. Bangladesh is a small country, but she has a large population. Another one, Bangladesh is a small country, but she has a large population. Okay, so there is also two main clauses. First one is Bangladesh is a small country, a main clause, and she has a large population. It is also a main clause, but these two main clauses have been added with the help of coordinate conjunction. But when we combine these two main clauses with the help of coordinate conjunction and or but, it is called compound sentence. Okay, and in compound sentence, these main clauses are called coordinate clause. Dear students, is it clear to you? Yes, I hope that it is clear. Now I can just repeat the definition of simple sentence. Simple sentence is a sentence there is only a main clause. There is only a main clause. In a complex sentence, there is a main clause and a subordinate clause. Okay, there is a main clause and is at least a subordinate clause in complex sentence. And in compound sentence, there are two main clauses, and these clauses are added with the help of and or but. Okay, and or but. So dear students, if you just pay attention, you will find this, the definition of the simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence are on the basis of clause, So you have to understand what is clause, because without understanding the clause, you will not be able to, it is very difficult to understand the true meaning and how to change the simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentences. And how can you write simple sentences, complex and compound sentences. So I hope that all of you are ready to go through the clause. Okay, it is very important for you. So we are going to discuss the item clause. So I hope that you have already understood the definition of simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentences. Okay. Now, dear students, now we are going to discuss clause. So are you ready to understand the clause? Yes, I hope that you are ready, because it is a very important topic for you to understand, to develop your skills in English language, in grammatical item. Okay. So now, what is clause? What is clause? We have already discussed in the definition and example what is clause. Okay. So clause means, literary meaning of what clause is, the part of a sentence. The part of a sentence. The literary meaning of clause, is a part of a sentence. Just you can write what I am saying, you can write and you will copy. So clause, literary meaning, the literary meaning of clause, part of a sentence. And the definition is, clause is a part of a sentence. Have you seen it? The clause is a part of a sentence that or which consists of a subject and a finite verb. Okay. So what is clause? Clause is a part of a sentence, and in this part, there must be a subject and a finite verb. Okay, dear students, have you understood it? Yes, I think you have understood. So clause is a part of a sentence that or which consists of a subject and a finite verb. Write down the answer. I will ask the definition of clause at the evaluation part of the class. I hope that then you will be able to answer the definition of clause. Okay. So what is clause? Yes. Please tell what is clause. Clause is a part of a sentence and there is a subject and a finite verb. Okay. Without subject and a finite verb, the part of a sentence will not be a clause. Okay. So is it clear to you? Yes, I think it is clear. Now, example. Follow the example. We have already discussed it. Dear students, follow the sentences. If you come, I will go. A conditional sentence. I will take another class on conditional sentences and completing sentence. If you come, I will go. There is a condition. If you come, I will go. So my going depends on your coming. Okay. If you come, I will go. There is also two parts in a sentence. First part is, if you come, the I will go. We will find a subject you, finite verb come. Subject I, finite verb will. Okay. So can you say what type of sentence it is? It is simple sentence, complex or compound? Yes. There are two clauses. If you come, I will go. Okay. So it is an example of complex sentence. Next one, unless you work hard, you will not prosper in life. So in this sentence, we also find subject in this part. In this part of the sentence, it is a clause. This part is a clause. Why this part is called a clause? Because there is a subject and a finite verb. That is why this part of the sentence is called a clause. Okay. Next, you will not prosper in life. In this part, there is also a subject and a finite verb. A subject and a finite verb. So this part of this sentence is also a clause. Is it clear to you? Yes. We read books so that we can acquire knowledge. We read books so that we can acquire knowledge. So there is also two parts. There are also two parts of a sentence. First part was we read books, and the second one is we can acquire knowledge. So in the first part, we also find a subject we and a finite verb read. Subject we and a finite verb read. Just pay attention. In the second part, we can acquire knowledge. There is also a subject and a finite verb. That is why this part is also a clause. Okay, have you understood? Yes, I think you understand my point. My point is like that. There are two parts of a sentence, and in each part there we find a subject and a finite verb. Last one, the man is honest and he leads a peaceful life. The man is honest and he leads a peaceful life. So there is also a part, the man is honest, and there is also a part, he leads a peaceful life. So in the first part there is a subject and a finite verb. In the last part there is a subject and a finite verb. Okay, that is why this part of a sentence is a clause and this part of the sentence is also a clause. Okay, so these are the example of clause, and in a clause there must be a subject and a finite verb. Have you understood the point? Yes. I hope that you have just written the examples. Okay. These are the examples of clause. So I have discussed the definition of clause and the examples of clause, and how can you understand the, how can you identify is it a clause or not. If you find a subject and a finite verb in a part of a sentence, this part of a sentence will be a clause. Okay. Next, follow the example, dear students. Now we have you find a new word, a finite verb. You are students of class 9-10, and I hope that in your you have already understood the definition of finite verb. Just I want to remind you what is finite verb, because in the definition of clause we have seen that there is a subject and a finite verb. Now what is finite verb? Okay, dear students, just I want to remind you. Follow the examples. I go to school, he goes to school. I have just changed the subject of the sentence. I go to school, I have changed subject I, he. Then go becomes goes. Okay. I went to school. I have changed the tense of the sentence. I went to school. When you change the tense of the sentence, this verb is also changed, turn into went. Okay. Now they may invite us. They may invite us. He may invite us. We have changed the subject. But there is no change in the verb. And just last one, they might invite us. They might invite us. We have changed the sentence of this sentence. May have become might. May has turned into might. Okay, but invite remains the same. Okay, so there are two verbs, might and invite, but the change has been taken only a verb may. May turns into might when you change tense. Okay, when you change tense, may turns into might, but invite remains the same, because after the modern auxiliary verb, main verb will be the base form, will be in the base form. Okay, dear students, the definition, what is the definition of finite verb? If a verb is changed on the basis of subject and tense of the sentence, the verb is called a finite verb. So if the verb is changed on the basis of subject and tense of the sentence, is called a finite verb. Okay, and we find non-finite verb in three places: after modal auxiliary, after to, and ing with the verb. This is called non-finite verb. So I hope that you have understood what is the finite verb, and now we can go our next part. Okay, students, clause is mainly of two types. Clause, the classification of clause. Now we are going discussing the classification of clause. Clause is mainly two types. First one is independent clause. Another name is main clause or principal clause. And the second one is dependent clause or subordinate clause. So how many types of clause are? Clauses are mainly two types: independent clause or main clause or principal clause. And the second one is dependent clause or subordinate clause. Okay, dear students, there is another type of clause we find in compound sentence when the two main clauses have been added or are added with the help of coordinate conjunction. This main clause turns into coordinate clause. Coordinate clause, main clauses connected by coordinate conjunction and or. So there is also another type of clause, coordinate clause. So I will discuss in details main independent clause, dependent clause and coordinate clause in my next class. I hope that you will just enjoy my next class. So can we go? We can go to our next step. Yes. At a glance. So what we have discussed in our class today. So at a glance, I have discussed the definition of simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence and its example. Okay. Definition of clause and its classification. And definition and examples of finite verb. So we have discussed these topics: simple, complex, compound and its example, definition and structure of clause and its classification, definition and examples of finite verb. Okay. Now, dear students, it is time for your evaluation. Okay. I hope that you have already just gone through the class. Evaluation. Okay. Answer the following questions. How many types of sentences are there on the basis of structure? Yes. Can you remember how many types of sentences are there on the basis of structure? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What types of sentence? Yes. There are 3 types of sentence on the basis of structure. You are right. Next one. What is the definition of simple sentence? I hope that you have already gone through the classes and you will be definitely able to tell the definition. What is the definition of simple sentence? Yes, say. What is the definition of complex sentence? Yes. What is the definition of compound sentence? Okay, I hope that you will be able to give the answer. And what is the definition of clause? What is the definition of clause? Yes, it will say how many types are clauses. How many types of clauses? Yes, how many types? There are mainly 2 types: independent clause and dependent clause, and there is another type of clause, coordinate clause. So dear students, I hope that you will be able to answer the questions. Okay. Now we are very ending part of our class. Take your homework. It is time for your homework. Just write the homework and I hope that you will do homework at your home. Write the definition of simple, complex and compound sentences and at least 5 examples of each sentence. You have to write the definition of simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence and at least 5 examples of each sentences. I hope that you must do your homework. Okay. Next, write the definition of clause and its classification. Write the definition of clause and its classification. So this is your homework. Just write your homework at your copy. And dear students, it is time to give you a special thanks for attending the class. And I hope that you have enjoyed the class very much. Okay. Thank you very much. I will take another class on simple, complex, compound, and I hope that you will attend my classes regularly. Okay. Take care. Bye.